All right, so staying in line with the ideas that Rio sends me every once in a while, he sent me this one, and this one really touches me. We talk about this many a time. So Rio, tell him what is next. What did you send me? And Rio didn't. We didn't talk about this. He just sent it to me because he's my son. He knows what's going to spark my ass, right? So he sent this to me and was like, "All right, dish it up, baby."
Talking about the importance of play when it comes to martial arts sparring. The only way to learn is to not be under this intense, high pressure, high stress situation. And for most people, sparring is terrifying. Thai spar very light. They just touch each other. It's amazing. And high level guys do that. They do that so they can fight all the time because they fight almost every week sometimes. So when they're training, they can't be getting beat up all the time. They're training and they're touching. See, they just touch each other. And when you do that, you don't have the fear of getting hit back as much, and you learn combinations better, you learn timing better.
You know, and I love Joe, man. I love Joe for many reasons. And I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he says and a lot of stuff that he does. But as a human being, he's friggin' awesome. As a successful entrepreneur, he's money. And I love the fact that he has so many experts on his show. And sometimes he agrees with them, sometimes he doesn't, but he has them in there to give you the variety of ideas, right? So I love Joe. And he talks about sparring. And I've been at this, man, for such a long time. And basically, most coaches don't like me down here. That's the truth. Most of the coaches don't like me because I go against their methods of training. It's like you guys don't develop anybody. You don't. You teach somebody how to throw a jab, how to throw a right, how to do a takedown. And once you teach them that, it's, okay, jump in the ring. Let's go. Sparring time. And those that are able to take that and do something with it are their champions. The other people, boom. Let me explain to you what development is. I have a fighter, okay? Instinctively, and through his career, he's a grappler. He's got hips. He's got level changes, exquisite timing. And so I go, all right, so the grappling, I'm just going to hold because he can take anybody down. So I'm going to teach him, one or two things on jiu-jitsu so if when he does take him down, he can finish them, okay? And then I'm going to teach him some lateral movement and some low kicks, which could be taught pretty fast because you can teach striking faster than you can teach hips. Wrestling, the hips, the timing, the closing, the distance, that shit's years. Dirty boxing, that's months, okay? Because it's not technical, it's just effective. So once you take a fighter and you go, okay, this is the new skill you're learning. This is what we're maintaining. This is the new skill we're learning. How are we going to learn that? Okay, I'm just making things up. We're going to take this combination or this lateral movement or this timing and we're going to shadow box that shit for 10 to 15 minutes every day that you're here for 2 weeks. That's thousands of reps. That should start ingraining things. How's it going? Show me. And if they can show it, just shadow boxing, if they can show you the timing, then you start drilling it. But you don't drill it until it's ingrained, okay, neuromuscular engramming, until it's ingrained. You don't practice with anybody. You don't even know how to do it. So then, okay, you practice with somebody. And you move with that person, you try to mimic. You don't have to hit anybody. You just plant, go. Plant, and touch. Touch. When that's perfect, then we go live goes, and that's another 2 weeks, and then another 2 weeks, and it's done in phases. That's developing. And one person's developing and the other person's developing is not the same. Because maybe this guy inherently is a striker. Inherently he's long. He throws a punch and it's like he's been throwing a punch his whole life. I have friends like that, never boxed. Boom, they throw a right hand. You go, holy shit, he's got a better right hand than I do. So as a coach, you have to recognize the aptitudes that are there and the skills that are not there, but they're low-lying fruit that can add and make this person a more complete fighter. That is not done. It is not done individually. I've never seen it done. And then you put it in a curriculum. 10 minutes of shadow boxing for 2 weeks. 10 minutes of partners drilling for 2 more weeks. Okay, live drilling for 2 more weeks. And then you can bring it into light sparring. That's just giving you an example of a progressive curriculum. That is not done. That is not done. Period. It's never been done with any fighter that has set foot in here, and I've asked them all, has this been done with you? No, 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 or no. And then I'm going, who the hell is teaching anything? Who's developing? No. They're coaching techniques, and then they're sparring. Whoever survives, that's our guy. All right? So look at the Muay Thai, and you got a lot of boxing, you got a lot of combat athletes that did not spar. Joel Romero, Jeff Munson, that would never spar, and people who didn't take abuse. And that's why they have such a long career. Now, you have some people that took abuse, like Vanderlei Silva, and it's a miracle he can still spell cat, because I've never seen anybody take more abuse to their head and still be able to kind of function. Although if you hear him talk, you can start seeing, and he's only what? How old is Vanderlei Silva? Look him up. Well, I thought he was younger than that, but he's 48. But at 48, man, at 50, I was still recovering and young, and at 66 is a little different, you know? But anyways, you get my point. You get my point. I have seen harder sparring matches than the actual fights in the UFC. I mean, just brutal, savage shit. I've seen it. And it's not once, twice, over and over and over again. You cannot develop a fighter like that. You can't. I tell my people, if they're not paying you, nobody hits you in the face. Nobody cuts you. Nobody fractures a bone if you're not getting paid. That's kind of like, my fun way of making sense of this. So I'm totally in agreement with Joe. It's been proven throughout combat sports that people who have not sparred have done very, 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 very well. Because sparring is about timing, and you don't have to brutalize somebody to use the proper timing in the sparring. Like flag football. You want to get in shape and you want to have some solid moves, play flag football. Because, if I crush you playing tackle, done. But in order to get around people, and in order to maintain distance so they don't grab your flag football requires more speed and more running skill than tackle football. It's the equivalent. Play flag football. Look at the NFL practices now. There's no more tackling. Half the practices are without helmets because it's a wrap and release. If I make contact, we're good. You want to know why combat athletes abuse themselves? Because of the bullshit warrior culture. So they sell the young man on that romanticized war, abuse and warrior shit. They sell them on that, and there's not enough money. Once these athletes start being 10, 20, $15 million a year athletes, you watch. They'll start taking care of themselves. Because nobody could go into Mayweather camp and abuse him. Because he's $100 million per fight athlete. So everybody took care of him. So take care of yourself, Mr. Combat Athlete. That warrior shit, no, you're an athlete. You're a professional athlete. You're not a fighter. Fighting is what you do. Okay? Who you are is a professional athlete. The professional athlete takes care of his vehicle like it's the only thing that he has, because it's the only thing he has. There you have it.